if Democrats take control of the body. I spoke with California Democratic Congressman Lieu earlier tonight. Congressman, I just want to get your reaction to the president's comments tonight, apologizing to now Justice Kavanaugh and saying that Kavanaugh had been, quote, proven innocent.
I think those comments were unfortunate. Certainly, they are not true. Brett Kavanaugh was not proven innocent. In fact, the FBI did an investigation that was incomplete. I'm a former prosecutor. I've never seen a background or law enforcement investigation that did not interview the accusers or the person being accused. And if the Democrats flip the House, then the House Judiciary Committee will interview the witnesses that the FBI was not allowed to do.
So you're saying, are you calling for impeachment proceedings?
No, I'm calling for an investigation that is complete, meaning we need to interview their accusers and the accused, and we need to do an investigation that the FBI was not allowed to do. And that's something the House Judiciary Committee can do. We have oversight over judicial misconduct allegations.
What would the goal of that be? Because, there's plenty of people who say, well, look, isn't this is done, this process is over, he's on the Supreme Court, why go back now and revisit it if in fact the Democrats take the House?
Because anytime you have credible allegations of sexual assault that are not properly investigated, then the House Judiciary Committee should investigate those claims. And again, the FBI did not interview these accusers, and I think someone needs to do that. I respect the senators, but senators are not trained to do these interviews the way that House Judiciary staff would or other law enforcement could.
Back on, I think it was September 26th, you tweeted, and I'm quoting, based on the numerous allegations of sexual assault against Judge Brett Kavanaugh, including these new criminal allegations by Julie Swetnick, the House Judiciary Committee must immediately start an investigation into Judge Kavanaugh to see if he should be impeached. Do you still believe that the possibility of impeachment should be there?
It would depend on what the evidence shows. We should look at this investigation and abide by the central principle of any investigation, which is we should take the evidence where it leads us. And in the case of the FBI, they were not allowed to do that. The White House put restrictions on them on who they could interview, what documents they could see. And again, if we have the opportunity to do so, we should subpoena the relevant documents and interview the relevant witnesses that the FBI was not allowed to do.
For all the talk about the damage this confirmation process did to the country, what are you and other Democrats calling for further investigations and throwing impeachment of a sitting Supreme Court justice into the conversation do? How does that help unite the country?
Well, this is not impeachment. This is calling for an adequate investigation, something that most people would agree that the FBI was not allowed to do. So at a minimum, we need to do a complete investigation and then see where the evidence takes us. Also, there have been numerous complaints filed to the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. They have referred those to the Supreme Court. Those are allegations separate from sexual assault. They deal with perjury by Brett Kavanaugh. Those should also be investigated.
But you have, in that tweet, you raised the idea of impeachment. Obviously, that would be the end result of whatever further investigation found. Does that set, do you risk kind of setting the country back? There are plenty of people, I'm sure, who think, you know what, this is done. It's time to move on.
At a minimum, sexual assault victims have the right to be heard. We deserve to give them that right. They need to have the ability to have a complete investigation. We cannot move on until an adequate investigation was completed. This was a whitewash by the White House and FBI, and if people want an adequate investigation, they need to help us flip the House so that we can do that.
Congressman Lieu, I appreciate your time. Thank you.